Hello everyone and welcome back to Fly From Home. So I've got a bit of a weird little video for you today, but I just thought I would take a look at the big new update that came out for Microsoft Flight Simulator last week, which apparently makes it Game of the Year edition now. So it comes with a bunch of new default aeroplanes, and yeah, I know, before you start complaining, default Microsoft Flight Simulator aeroplanes, we know where that usually ends up, but let's come in with an open mind and have a look at all of these aeroplanes in turn and see what we think of them. So, to start off with, we've got this thing. It kind of looks like somebody got a bunch of drones and just sellotaped them to a really small helicopter body. Apparently, this is a concept for a electric-powered air taxi vehicle called the Vollocopter. I mean, yeah. So this is not a real aeroplane. Apparently, this is just a concept. But let's see how it goes. Let's give it a chance. So I'm here on the runway at Nottingham Tollerton, one of our favourite little haunts on this channel. There is a reason for that, because apparently Nottingham is now, oh god, one of the upgraded cities in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so the scenery should be a little bit sharper, so let's take a look at that. We're just going to try to, I mean, yeah, I don't think we're going to be going far, put it that way. Let's see how many knots we can get out of this thing. I mean, they've done a great job of sharpening up the airport here at Tollerton. There's the little pond that's just gone beneath us. It's in the grounds of... It's actually a private hospital, that big building there. Yeah, but absolutely stonking 45 knots coming out of this thing so far. It's very, very stable, though. It's very, very easy to fly. And from what I hear from helicopter pilots, how they're always telling me that they're literally the most skilled pilots in the galaxy. It's definitely different to a real helicopter. It's also unbelievably loud, so I hope you can hear me. Alright, I can't even be bothered to fly this back to the runway, it's so unbelievably slow, so I think we should just land it in the car park of Morrison's over there. Going for a meal deal. I mean, this is really like, I don't know, it's like the Fortnite of helicopters. It seems to have sort of angler bank and pitch protections on it in all directions, so I can't actually roll it over to any sort of degree or push the nose down too much. It just seems about as uncrashable as you can possibly get an aircraft. However, trust me, I will have a good go at crashing it right now as we try to land it on top of some of these cars that are painted on the ground. Controls are really sort of sludgy, quite unresponsive, which is odd. You'd have thought something this tiny would be sort of all over the place, but I'm willing to put it down to the magic of, oh god, a tree. Whatever computer control system this thing is using. That'll do, whatever, get me out of here. Okay, next aeroplane, and here we have something much more like it. This is a Polartus PC6 Corsa, which is a very well-renowned cargo / parachute jumping / anything you want, really, aircraft, turboprop powered, very good short takeoff and landing characteristics. And yeah, that's about all I know about this airplane. So let's give it a crack. We're going to try and take off on the short runway at Nottingham, runway 03. So hopefully that's going to be okay. Sounds are excellent. Oh, a lot of right rudder required, a lot of right rudder required. Yeah. Alright, let's try that again, shall we? I'll be a little bit more progressive with the throttle this time. Go away, van. Pickup truck thing. we go. So that's pretty cool. The propeller slipstream effect on takeoff, very, very strong in this aeroplane, which I guess, yeah, you'd expect that. Very cool looking aeroplane. Just gonna try to fly a circuit without crashing, which might be harder than it seems at first. Very, very tight circuit for runway 03, so it should be a good test of this aeroplane. No idea where the flap indicator is on this. But I'm guessing it's got a pair of absolute barn doors on the wings, so it should come down like a brick when I select full flap. Okay, so that's full flap right there. I'm going to go for an approach speed of about sort of 80 knots. Maybe even slower. Maybe we should bring it back to 75. I don't know. Let's see. Fair bit of crosswind on this runway. I'm nowhere near the centre line as usual. That's full reverse. Oh, look at that stopping power. Beautiful. Okay, very cool. Okay, this thing has a seal of approval. Very nice. I don't know how much like the real aircraft it is, because like I said, I have absolutely no experience with the real aircraft. But this does seem to be a really, really nice addition to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Oh yeah, just thought I would mention as well, there's various different versions of this PC6. There's a version on skis, and there's this version that I am showcasing with my usual level of incompetence here. It's an amphibian version, which means it can land both on runways and also in the National Water Sports Centre, as I am attempting to do here with relatively limited success. Adds an extra dimension to this rather cool aeroplane. I did find that it wouldn't go into reverse thrust without me having to use my mouse though, so perhaps a little bit of a bug there. I also couldn't remember the keys for the water rudder, so now it's going to drift off and serenely ground on the banks of this artificial rowing lake thing here. There we go. Ooh, lovely. Yeah, this one's good too. Next aircraft we have is, well, it would be a Microsoft Flight Simulator update without some kind of Piper Cub making its way in there, would it? And it's the NX Cub, which is already in the game, but this is the tricycle undercarriage version. So let's give this thing a go, shall we? Very, very light on the controls, as you might expect. So yeah, I don't think there's a great deal of difference between this and the tail wheel undercarriage variant in terms of flight dynamics, but it's still a fun little aeroplane, very good if you like to do those sorts of off airfields landings. That altitude warning is going to really annoy me. I forgot to set the altitude bug before I set off because I'm an idiot. Let's crank it up to that. So this thing has a constant speed propeller. It's remarkably fast for a Piper Cub as well, which is quite cool. You could do your sort of off-airfield landings and still get there in a reasonable time. It's about as fast as a Warrior. I mean, again, I've got no experience with the real aircraft. I have no idea if that's realistic, if it really is capable of this sort of speed, or if it's just Microsoft Flight Simulator playing it fast and loose with the flight dynamics, but seems like quite a handy little aeroplane. See how well it lands. Get some flapping. Wait till we're inside the white arc to add the final stage.
500.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Radar Altimeter Voice, which has no business being in a Piper Cub, but oh well. Actually struggling to get it down to that white arc of 70 knots. It's slowing down quite slowly, and also the view over the front is really poor, which is nice, but hopefully when I get this last stage of flaps in, things should improve. And they do a bit. Still quite a bit of crosswinds. Try and keep the wings level, control it with rudder. Doesn't help that everything is so unbelievably sensitive on this airplane. Oh, I'll take that. Please don't tip over. So yeah, more of the same Piper Cub, but with a slightly easier to use landing gear. And last, but by no means least, it is this. It is the Boeing F-18E Super Hornet fighter plane. An aeroplane which I am even less qualified to comment on than probably the Vollocopter, to be perfectly honest. But never mind, let's give it a go. Now, I have had a little flight in this before, so I am cheating slightly. But that's only because I wanted to make sure everything did work. Bear in mind, you have to set up a button for your afterburner for some reason, so you can't just crack the throttles open and stick it in afterburner. I have no idea what a rotation speed for this is, but 150 seems more than enough. This is, of course, unbelievably fast and maneuverable, roll rate very, very high. Now, I have no idea the kind of performance that this thing should have. I read a little bit on the internet that said that the F-18E is a little bit of a porky aeroplane. As fighter planes go, it's a little bit... I have no idea what that noise is telling me. It's a little bit chubbier than something like, say, the F-15 or the F-22. It's not quite as fast. It does seem very, very nice and stable to fly. That's more than likely because it's a fly-by-wire control system at work here, so it's completely flattering my normally horrendous flying skills. What we could really do with that runway here at Nottingham is an arrestor catapult. That would be really handy right now because I have no idea whether this thing is going to make it back onto the runway. Probably not, to be perfectly honest, but let's give it a college try. Needless to say, the graphics of all these airplanes absolutely stunning. As ever, the way that these things look is never a problem. I think for your casual gamer wanting to jump in a military jet in Microsoft Flight Simulator and just whiz around, I think this is really exactly what they were looking for. Looking for something that's a little bit more realistic, shall we say. The Just Flight Hawk is probably more your cup of tea, and hopefully we are going to have a review of that coming out soon on this channel. I have no idea what a good VREF speed for this aircraft should be. I mean, 130 knots maybe? That seems about right. It's kind of a generic jet approach speed. Talk to me, Goose. It's going to crash it into the runway. Basically like a carrier landing and almost tip it over. Hey, we made it. Unbelievable. Oh, and off by the intersection here. Yes, I'm sure that is 100% realistic for a huge frontline fighter jet. Look at that. There are some quite cool effects in here. The flaps are all automatic, which is quite cool. I wonder. I haven't actually checked this, but I'm hoping that the wing fold does it. Hey, look at that! Let's go park it up next to that Piper Arrow over there. Yep, that marshaller completely nonplussed by the fact that he's seen an F-18 turn up at a small GA airfield in the UK. Forward, okay. Okay, cool. Call it a day. So yeah, overall, some cool little additions to the game. A bunch of free aeroplanes, a bunch of improvements to various different bits and pieces, bug fixes. I'm not going to go over the whole patch notes. I'll leave a link to them in the description if you want to read them all. But yeah, some cool improvements to Microsoft Flight Simulator. As always, the dev team are working really hard making this game better and better. The free aeroplanes are a nice addition. They're not going to be the sort of things that the real aircraft enthusiasts are going to get too excited over. Although I would see the PC6 is a pretty nice little addition to the game. I might see myself having a bit of a play around with that in the future. And of course the F-18's fun, but probably not enormously realistic. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of the new Microsoft Flight Simulator update, and hopefully next time we'll be back with some interesting add-on aeroplanes. Thanks, bye-bye.